Welcome to the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast, where it is never too early for fantasy football. My name is Jeff.
And I'm Alec.
As always, thank you for downloading, listening, liking, and commenting on our podcast videos. Please join our community by subscribing to us on the socials. Our handle on all platforms is at N2E Fantasy. We're also available on all major podcasting apps by searching N2E Fantasy. Alex, what do we have on today's show?
On this episode of the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast, we are continuing our 2026 positional rank series with our top 15 quarterbacks for the 2026 season. But first, a couple league news dropped. Jeff, let's start with the first one. What do we have?
The craziest one yet, because we were just talking about this last week with our tight end episode. The Falcons and tight end Kyle Pitts agree to a 3-year extension, tearing up the franchise tag and taking him through 2028. This kind of came out of nowhere because we didn't even think they were negotiating. So kudos to the Falcons for getting this done quietly and just laying it on us.
I'm a little surprised by the dollar amount, but he's had 2 of his 4 or 5 seasons highly productive so far. So, rookie season and then last season when he was finally relatively healthy. And that's with quarterbacks that struggle to get him the ball. It should be relatively the same with Tua as the starting quarterback this year, but with a head coach who offensively likes to get the ball to tight ends. I think it's a really good deal to get him and previously Drake London, the wide receiver there, locked up.
Bijan is next.
Bijan?
We will see.
All right.
But Brendan Sorsby will not be allowed to enter the NFL via the NFL supplemental draft, as the NFL has denied his request to be a part of that. And they're stating his next opportunity to enter the NFL will be the 2027 NFL draft. What are your thoughts here on Sorsby?
So the former Texas Tech, Cincinnati, and Indiana quarterback has the long-standing gambling issues from his time at Indiana. His redshirt year where he bet on his own team using proxy accounts from his family and friends, sending them money via like Venmo and Cash Apps to bet on his behalf and send back the winnings to him, and then bet on multiple sports throughout his collegiate career. Unfortunately for Texas Tech, he never really gets to play for them. Tech had already decided not to play him for this year based on getting in trouble. The NCAA banned him with a lifetime ban from playing, and now the NFL is basically saying nothing you did is remorseful. You didn't send us any facts. You haven't sent us any plan on how you're going to stay on the right track. You're just trying to find any way to play, and any avenue that closes to you, you're looking for the next avenue to play without actually resolving any of your issues. So we're not inviting you into the league this year. You have the year to prove yourself, and if so, you can join us next year because you have some talent that you could actually be something if you wanted to. That's basically what they said in a really long letter.
Yeah, I don't think this is the end of this saga, so we will just have to stay tuned for what comes next. But I don't see too many paths to the NFL this year.
And Pete Rose in baseball is still barred from the Hall of Fame for betting on his own team. And there's just a crazy stigma with gambling and pro sports as an athlete. Betting on your own team is a big no-no, and he never faced any real ramifications for that. And the NFL can't allow that, because once you question the integrity of the game and the results of games, and it's no longer sports or competition, it's just pure entertainment.
Don't disagree with that. I will say at 18 with money, people make bad decisions, and this is going to be part of the culture now with giving 18 and 19-year-olds NIL money. So this is all part of society now.
Well, sometimes you need the cautionary tale, so this should be a lesson for everyone else.
You would think, but I think most 18 and 19-year-olds think that they're invincible, especially college football players.
I've done stupid things that age without money, so I get it, but the same token, I mean, he put himself in this position.
Yeah,
He is an
I mean,
adult.
He's what, 22, 23 right now, and that's even ridiculously young in life still. So hopefully he can get it together, get drafted, and prove the NFL that he belonged all along. So, I mean, he's got all that opportunity ahead of him still. Just a little pit stop here.
Right. Well, we can transition to our rankings for actual NFL quarterbacks for the fantasy season. We've got our top 15, each of us, and we'll start with the bottom. We'll start with 15 and alternate here. Jeff, do you want to go first with this one, or you want me to go first with this one?
Hey, since you always say I'm the odd one, I'll just always start with the odd numbers. And my number 15 is going to be a little bit of a surprise for you, but it is going to be a guy that will not rush very much this year due to his recovery and what he's coming back from, and that is Bo Nix.
I thought you were gonna say Patrick Mahomes when you said all that stuff.
He doesn't sniff my top 15.
What? Wow.
When you take out his rushing ability and his inconsistent receiver play, it's not going to look good this year for Patrick Mahomes the second.
I have a hard time fading Bo Nix when he got the best wide receiver he's ever going to play with, and Jalen Waddle.
Don't know how good Waddle is, but we'll see.
Waddle, baby, Waddle. He finally gets to go somewhere that actually has snow, so the penguin thing will make more sense.
Right? Except for they're getting a dome stadium pretty soon.
Yeah. Oh, well, I have him obviously higher than you because I think he'll come back from his injury faster than you believe.
He just had a second cleanup. This is how bad his ankle was. Required 2 surgery.
He'll be all right.
I don't think he's that good to begin with, but
Well, he's only had reliable short range targets. His deep threats don't have reliable hands. And Sean Payton was calling too many screens. And now the offensive coordinator actually gets to call the plays instead of the head coach. So it's going to
Davis
change the
Webb.
offense. And Jalen Waddle's a reliable deep threat, as well as he can move all around the formation, takes pressure off of Cortland Sutton. So he should get more efficient looks. I think the offense will look better. And I think running back wise, I think they're in a better situation than they were last year.
What'd they do? Swap out one guy for Jonah Coleman?
No, they keep both guys and they have Jonah Coleman. So hopefully Jonah Coleman replaces Bidet. It's spelled Beatty, but that he goes by Bidet or something.
Yep.
Mm.
Who do you have at 15 then?
I have Jackson Dart, who I would put higher, but I don't think he's necessarily a nice, seamless fit for this offense. But he does have the rushing upside,
Okay.
and
I'm
there's questions
much
whether
higher on him.
there's questions on whether Neighbors is actually going to be healthy to start the year, and when Neighbors will play. I like Dart more than this, but I'm questionable about this offense right now.
All right. That is interesting. I do have him a lot later, so just stay tuned. And who do you have at 14?
14, purely based on rushing and probably volume of passing, I have Kyler Murray. I don't think that
Okay.
they're going to turn to JJ, even if Kyler is a little rough, because I think JJ would be worse. He's got Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson to throw to in the short and intermediate routes. It's Claiborne that he can dump the ball off to if Claiborne starts earning a role as the running back there, at least on passing downs. And like I said, Kyler still has his rushing ability too. So that keeps him in the conversation. Who's your 14, Jeff?
For sure. That's an interesting call there with Kyler Murray. I have him outside my top 20 quarterbacks, and I have him starting the entire season. So we'll see who's right and who's wrong there, but that's a guy that I didn't expect to flip flop with you on. But my number 14 is Dak Prescott, and that's just due to his 2 receivers. He's going to continue to pepper them with targets. He finished last year as quarterback 5, and he's done quarterback 5 last year and in 2023. So it is a pretty good bet that he's going to be in the top 15 again this year.
I have him just outside the top 15. I have him at 16, and it's his lack of rushing upside that keeps him out. He's really got 2 main weapons and 1 ancillary weapon. with Ferguson as the third guy. I don't really know what Flournoy is, but I'm not super thrilled about Flournoy. So it's
Fortnite.
Lamb who's kind of disappointed at different stages, and Pickens who quits on his team every now and then and eventually won't be happy with playing on the franchise tag. So they also have the hardest schedule, one of the hardest schedules this year. It's hard for me to get excited about any of the Cowboys positional players right now.
Hard schedules could mean a ton of junk time.
It could also mean things go very poorly for them as well.
That is fair. That is fair. All right. My number 13 is Malik Willis. And that is mostly based on his pure rush ride ability. And hopefully he finds a guy that is his guy to pass to.
You and I are on opposite ends on Malik Willis and Kyler Murray. I have Malik Willis at number 21, and I don't know how you have Malik Willis here at 13. And who's his best wide receiver?
Malik
Malik
Washington.
Washington?
Yeah, Malik to Malik.
Versus Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson.
I've watched Kyler Murray throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr. That was supposed to be the next coming. I've watched
Marvin Harrison Jr. has always been a pure X receiver. Justin Jefferson is a superstar slot, which works with the passing routes that Murray's actually good at throwing to. He's also much better proven than Harrison. So I'm a little confused by that.
Play exclusively in the slot.
And Kevin O'Connell's a better offensive play caller for Minnesota than Bobby Slowick is.
Do not besmirch Bobby Slowick.
Man, come on. Man. So I'm a little confused by that. I think Malik is, an interesting QB2, bottom of the QB2 ranks, purely because of his rushing upside. No idea if he can be a consistent passer or even put up big numbers of a passer, and we have no idea what the receiving corps can do. Receiving corps are so bad. I mean, people are talking up Dolchik again, a guy who's never done anything in his entire career, has always been hyped up, and they're saying he's going to be the number one receiver at the tight end position. No, I don't see it.
They drafted 2 receivers and 2 tight ends. It is possible someone emerges that you didn't foresee coming. But
I like Chris Bell, but he's coming off of a college injury. I think it's Douglas is the other guy, and I think he could be okay. I liked Malik Washington when he was drafted as a prospect. I'm not sure if he continues with my prospect grade because his early NFL career so far hasn't been that much. Granted, he's had Tua to throw him the ball, so who knows? And I like Jalen Tolbert, but I don't know if Tolbert's going to do anything with Malik Willis. Kind of want someone who actually throws the ball rather than someone who runs with the ball.
No, and I like his rushing upside. I think he's a more durable, bigger Kyler Murray, basically.
Which it's also funny because the Malik Willis draft class when he was drafted in the league was the Kenny Pickett draft year too. And I liked Malik Willis as my QB1 that year, and that's the year Kenny Pickett went in the first round, and Malik Willis, I think, went in like the third. So it didn't look good, and he sucked with Tennessee. But to be fair, Tennessee coaching staff was terrible. But now he's had some success because he got rehabilitated in Green Bay, and we'll see what he can do. I think he'll have some QB1 weeks with his rushing upside.
So 13's not so crazy is what I'm hearing.
I think if you were in a 2-quarterback league or a super flex league, him being your second quarterback isn't terrible. And if you are rotating based on schedule quarterbacks, he's not bad to have as your second quarterback.
Right. He's number 13 for me. He's not like someone that I'm looking to.
That's one shy of being a QB1, Jeff.
I know. Why do you think I put him there?
Anyway, my number 13 is Patrick Mahomes, who is on track to play week 1, which I'm shocked by, but it's happening. We don't know if Rashee Rice is going to face any league penalty that hasn't even hit yet. They haven't really even reviewed it yet. He might not. He might not get suspended. And Worthy was playing through an injury last year. From everything that they said in camp, they expect to open up the offense for him. Kenneth Walker, I think, will be an interesting back there to support Patrick Mahomes. I think he could have a bounce back year. I think he could outperform this and go back to a year when he put up huge stats. But I'm not counting on that, so I'm putting him at 13. I'm counting on him coming back from injury and playing close to a QB1 level.
All right. I got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback 19 this year, so better you than me.
That's why I have Baker Mayfield.
You're not a Baker guy, even though he's got weapons up the wazoo.
Well, he might hold out because they haven't figured out a contract yet.
He's not holding out.
But
That's $2 million a week to hold out.
We'll see. But at number 12, I have Bo Nix at this spot.
Okay.
If
we're close,
he was going to be fully healthy, he'd be higher than 12, but I still think he's good enough to be the last of the quarterback ones. I really like the addition of Waddle, and I think he'll get his legs back as the season progresses.
For sure. I just don't know how good of a passer he is. He has had weapons. He has had draft picks, even like Troy Franklin. Some were specifically picked for him. Brought in Ingram. They've done a whole bunch for him, and it hasn't really worked yet. So we'll see if it works this year.
Ingram looks like dust, and Troy Franklin was not a good prospect.
Well, we will see if he can continue to progress or not. I'm banking on the not, and we will see. We will see. And there's been some feuding with Sean Payton, too, over his ankle injury this offseason as well. So,
all right, who's your number 12?
My number 12 is the guy that you had just mentioned, Baker Mayfield. He's going to have Godwin, he's going to have Ibuka, McMillan, and Hurst to throw the ball to, and he's going to also have 2 receiving backs out of the backfield. So he should have his fair share of weapons to throw to, as well as he does run a little bit.
2 receiving backs. He's got Kenneth Gainwell. Who else does he have, Jeff?
Irving, who's back, buddy. Fully healthy.
Bucky Irving. No, he lost his job.
Running back 1, homie.
No, he's running back 1A.
Are you Canadian now?
No. The coach said Irving and Gainwell are 1A and 1B. They're going to split 50-50.
Where have I heard that before?
I'm just saying. You're going to be in for quite a surprise when he doesn't put up the numbers that you think he's going to put up.
Wasn't Bijan and Algier 1A and 1B at one point? Wasn't that what people were going around saying? Did you ever buy it?
To be fair, they gave Algier way too many carries.
I believe that's what they said last year, is 1A and 1B. And let's not act like Bucky Irving has ever had this entire job to himself and he's been relevant the entire time. So I expect relevance to continue with Bucky Irving, but this is not the Bucky Irving show. We'll get to him in a couple of weeks. But my number 11 is Trevor Lawrence, who's a lot like Baker Mayfield, and they play a lot alike as well.
I'm actually higher on Trevor Lawrence than you are.
Dang! Where's CJ Stroud on this list?
CJ Stroud is 22.
He's 25 for me.
Mine is heavily weighted towards rushing ability. So
I can see.
That's why Baker isn't that high, and that's why Trevor Lawrence is at 9. I'm not sure their rushing attack is actually going to be effective this year, and I think he's going to have to pass more. And I think he's going to have to run more. So that gets him more points and up to 9. However, he does play some tough defenses, so if he plays hero ball, he could get hurt, and that would completely knock him off the list. True for basically anyone, but I mean, he does have the propensity to potentially get hurt.
Agreed there. All right. Before we get to your number 9, who is your number 11?
Oh, my number 11 is Brock Purdy.
Oh.
He's consistently in that range. They have Mike Evans now. Brandon Ayuk is not going to be playing for them. I don't know when they're going to release him. I don't know if he's ever going to wise up and show up and then get cut. Don't know what the deal is with him other than he's crazy. They have Pearsall, who should be getting healthy. They have Christian Kirk, who I think will fit their team pretty well. They just recently drafted Stribling, number 33rd, with the 33rd pick, first pick of the second round, and they have Christian McCaffrey. So they have a lot of weapons now. Still have Kyle Shanahan calling the plays. Purdy still has rushing upside, so as long as he's healthy and out there, I think he'll be pretty good. My number 10 is Tyler Shock.
Whoa, that is a shot.
Well, I mean, the previous episode, I said he might be as high as 9, so I have him at 10. He's got
You
two
dropped him a
great
spot.
wide receivers to throw to, two running backs that he can throw to. Jawan Johnson at the tight end position. They're going to likely be behind in a lot of games and have to throw. Their defense is not great. So, and Kellen Moore likes to run up the score. I don't know if you know this about him, and he likes to pass the ball too much. So, Shock also has rushing ability. So I like him a lot.
Right. Shock does not make my top 15. He is my 18th quarterback, so we are 8 spots off on him. So not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, you're probably going to end up with some more shares of Tyler Shock than I will. All right. My number 10 is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, and that is Justin Herbert.
Actually higher on Herbert than you are.
All right. See, I'm higher than I'm Purdy than you are, so it's a pretty flipped up time around these parts.
You're gonna do Purdy slash Mac Jones.
No, I don't think Mac Jones will play many snaps at all this year, so we'll see.
But I like Herbert this year, and I think they've got the near perfect offensive coordinator for him, and he has a lot of weapons. His O line's gonna get healthy, so here's hoping that he'll stay healthy and put up some huge numbers.
Yeah, that all depends on his two tackles staying healthy this year, because that was a freak thing last year with both of them getting hurt within the first 3 weeks. So we'll see what that looks like moving forward. But moving forward to number 9 here, I have one of your favorites, Caleb Williams. How much you love him these days?
I love him so much, I'm higher than you on him.
Wow, Mr. Madden cover athlete.
Year 2 of the Ben Johnson regime, he should improve theoretically. If he doesn't, that's a huge problem. So if he doesn't take a step this year, then they have to start questioning, is he actually going to be the guy? He might go through the Trevor Lawrence stages of, is he the guy or not? First overall pick. The next talented quarterback struggles, can't figure it out, but maybe eventually gets it later down the line. But
It's just
everything's set up for him to succeed.
Yeah, it's just interesting they shipped off as one veteran wide receiver, and now he's stuck with 2 young guys and 3 if you count the tight end as well. So it usually you put the young quarterback with a guy that can rise him for a little bit and rise him up. So we'll see. Like if you think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and now Antonio Brown and Drake May, so
Well, DJ Moore didn't want to be there. And it was
that's
very
fine.
obvious DJ Moore didn't want to be there. If Roma Dunze or Luther Burden don't take off this year, don't take their own steps forward, I could absolutely see them in the market for a wide receiver.
Yeah, that's going to be a requirement this year, though. Like one of those two, if not both of those two, are going to have to take a couple steps forward.
But they do have 3 very talented tight ends in Loveland, Komet, and I think they drafted Rarsh
Yep, Sam Rush.
as well in the 3rd round, top of the 3rd round. It's a guy that I wanted the Texans to get because he can block, one of the better blockers in the draft, as well as catch. And that's crucial in this day and age with formations and how people want to use tight ends.
Yes, sir. All right. Who is your number 9? I think you revealed it
Yeah,
premature.
I prematurely revealed Trevor Lawrence is my number 9. I don't really like him as an NFL quarterback, but fantasy wise, I think he's in a spot he can produce points, especially with 4 wide receivers and a tight end to throw to. I don't think their run game with Tootin is going to be very good. So it's all going to go through Trevor Lawrence. That could be too much for him and he could get hurt. I don't know.
Got Chris Rodriguez there, too.
I like Chris Rodriguez, but I think Chris Rodriguez being in there telegraphs what the play is going to be, which means they'll shut it down, and there's a good chance that that blocks their offense from being successful with rushing plays.
Are you saying that he's not good at pass blocking, or
He's okay, not great at pass blocking, and he doesn't catch the ball. So if he's in, he's running.
yeah, I mean if he's decent at pass blocking though, I mean you can get a tight end in the flat. You can get a receiver slant.
Maybe.
Play action guy at least.
I want him to be successful because I have him in a league. So
he is not going to catch screen passes or wheel routes at a high rate, is basically what you're saying.
yes.
Who is your number 8?
My number 8 is Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to struggle with one, AJ Brown gone, two, the changing of the offense to target the middle of the field, which is a weak area for him. And he's already struggling in camp to make that happen. Everything they did in this offseason was to move from the outside to inside, bringing in Stowers, bringing in Lemon. Yeah, it's all to target the middle of the field. And he's not great at that. But he's not great as a quarterback in the NFL anyway. He has been a fantasy quarterback because he gets rushing stats. So it keeps him in the top 10, but he is lower than consensus for me.
Yeah, he's coming up very shortly for me as well. So before I hop into Jalen Hurts, let me get to my number 8 here. And this is going to be a guy that you will battle me on a little bit, but it is Drake May here at number 8.
Jeffrey.
What?
Jeffrey. He's much higher for me. Yes, he's going to have a more difficult schedule this year, but he also got a better weapon. He also has a ton of weapons.
I don't think AJ Brown's better than Diggs.
Yes. Diggs barely had 1,000-yard season. Diggs is a possession receiver.
That's needed.
AJ Brown is an X receiver. They already have other possession receivers that are younger than Diggs.
That are as good as
Diggs is still unemployed. And they traded a first for AJ Brown. So that kind of tells you. So
yeah, we will see. But I will say last year, Drake May threw the ball 492 times, which is one of the lowest in the league. He did throw for 4,394 yards, which is 8.93 yards per attempt, which is not sustainable in the NFL. So he is going to come back down to earth a little bit this year as well.
We'll see. I think that he'll throw more this year, playing a harder schedule, and it may still be long bombs or yards after the catch. It really depends on how good AJ Brown actually is. If he is past his prime, it won't be good. If he was underutilized and underrated with the Eagles and gets a chance to shine, it'll be interesting.
For sure. But I could see the tougher schedule, which Drake May played one of the easiest schedules in the last 50 years in the league. So I could see a lot happen here in the next 6 months with Drake May. All right, my number 7 is Jalen Hurts. So we are just one spot off from him, but it's a far cry from a top 2 or top 3 spot that he's been the last several years for fantasy rankings. So we will see what he has left.
My number 7, which I think starts my tier 3 for quarterbacks, is Caleb Williams.
Okay.
I don't really trust him versus his talent to be higher than this. His talent is better than this, but his play has not been so far. We'll see how it shakes out, but this is as high as I'm willing to place him on the list.
Well, John Madden trusts him more than you do because they put him on his video game this year.
John Madden is dead, so he didn't put him on his video game.
Psychic mediums do exist, homie.
99% of them are not real. But if you want to go into, Project Stargate and the remote viewing, that's some interesting stuff.
Maybe they had Frank Caliendo channel John Madden.
Maybe. My number 6, if we want to switch back to football, Jeff, we can have our psychic and remote viewing episode later. Number 6 is Justin Herbert. I think the sky's the limit for him. I think he'll be able to make it through healthy. I think teaming up with Mike McDaniel is going to help both of them. So it's going to help both of them get a playoff win, which they both need. A lot of weapons there, a lot of redundancy in case they get hurt. Wish the offensive line had a little bit more added to it, but the tackles, I'm hoping, are both there game 1.
Yes,
so I'm
sir.
excited to see. I will say, even though I have Herbert here, I have your favorite wide receiver, Quentin Johnson, like wide receiver 43 or something like that.
Wow, you are besmirching one of my favorite wide receivers. But I will give you a spoiler alert as well. He is my wide receiver 41.
Wow, we're pretty close, actually. 43 and 41.
Yep. All right. My number 6 here is going to be one Brock Purdy. So your number 11 is my number 6. And you know how much I love Brock Purdy. I just couldn't get him any lower with his pass volume. Adding in Mike Evans, adding in Kittle, McCaffrey, and then ancillary pieces such as Pearsall and Kirk. And like, you can't really get him out of your QB1 range. You're a little bit lower in the QB1s, but I am in the QB1.
Wow. They have to play the Rams twice a year, too.
It's okay. He's going to have to just throw the ball away quicker, which will mean more McCaffrey.
All right. Who is your number 5?
Number 5 is second-year quarterback Jackson Dart.
Wow. You have Jackson Dart at 5?
Mm-hmm. The points projection model put him at number 2 in quarterback, so I had to drop him spots from his projections.
God, this is mind-blowing, Jeff. I like him more as a quarterback than you do. You spent a lot of time poo-pooing him, and you got him that high. So I guess the difference would be you think Neighbors is going to be healthier than I think Neighbors is going to be healthy. And I bet you think that they're going to be behind more games than I think that they're going to be behind. What else would be the difference? Like, do you have more than one wide receiver being usable for them? Or what, like, do you happen to have Jackson Dart's stats? Like, what does it shake out to be?
Yeah, I mean he's essentially Lamar Jackson on the Giants now. So we'll see if it comes to full fruition. But if you look at Lamar, he's going for just under 3,500 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. And you have Dart with 3,700 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Rushing here, the models spit out very close, with Lamar having 117 attempts and Jackson Dart having 113 attempts. So Dart actually has more rushing touchdown ability as well as what Lamar has right now. So we will see.
I think he'll have less passing yards and less rushing attempts than that.
Than 3,700 yards.
That's really hard to do. That's really hard to do. He's not Lamar Jackson. Yes, he's a rushing quarterback. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Drake May. And you have Drake May so much lower.
He
I
rushes
like
better
I
than
like
Drake.
Dart, but I don't think this is the year he blows up.
We will see.
We're 10 spots different.
Yep.
I have a 15, you have a 5. Man, that blows my mind.
Yep. I couldn't get him any lower. Trust me, I don't love him this high, but couldn't do it. The math is the math.
Well, maybe you'll get convinced on Neighbors and you'll drop them a little bit.
I don't think it matters though, because Lamar didn't have a receiver for how many years?
He had Mark Andrews. He
Okay,
had
you have
DeAndre
Isaiah Likely.
Hopkins. He had DeAndre Hopkins. Did he have Anquan Bolden, or did he not overlap with Anquan Bolden?
I don't think he overlapped with Anquan Bolden, but he had Hopkins last year, 1 year out of.
Did he have tail end of his career Michael Crabtree?
Potentially.
Ravens have gone through some like big name older wide receivers at different points.
Yeah. In 12 games last year, Jackson Dart threw for 2,200, almost 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. So if you spread those out over a season, you get what I gave you. And he
But
had
that's
86
Dable.
rushing attempts.
That's with Dable.
Dable was there for 6 games.
And Dable's coaching staff that stepped in as interim. Now he has Matt Nagy and John Harbaugh's mentality on offense.
Yep. Harbaugh is not afraid to rush that quarterback.
We'll see. We'll see.
You admitted last week it is on tape that it's Lamar Jackson Dart. They're one quarterback.
Lamar Jackson Dart, yes. It's such a great name combo, especially if you had both of them in a two quarterback league.
Super
But
flex.
yeah. All right. Well, my number 5 is Mr. Joe Burrow, the only non-rushing quarterback that makes my top 15, just because I think he'll put up potentially Matt Stafford MVP numbers this year.
Okay, I noticed Matt Stafford is
Oh.
conspicuously missing from this.
Well, he's 38 years old. I think
Okay,
he's
he was
due
37 last year.
touchdown regression, and he doesn't run. So,
But he's got two of the best receivers in the league.
no. One of them is too busy biting people and calling them ethnic slurs,
Already been through
and the
rehab.
other one almost got traded for a completely different wide receiver. So, not really sure how high I should view these guys. But yes, they are good, especially with the last couple years of stats.
That is fair. All right, who is your number 4?
My number 4 is Jaden Daniels. I expect to bounce back for him. And spoiler alert, I am higher than consensus on his number 1 wide receiver. I think he is going to be good. I think the new offensive coordinator is going to let the game be more vertical, and Commanders will be watchable, at least on offense. Their defense has a little ways to go.
Hopefully. We agree, though, with Jaden Daniels being the number 4 quarterback. It's our first identical spot in this exercise. So he definitely will be quarterback 4 this year since we both agree on something.
All right. What is your number 3?
But I will say before I move on that his number 1 weapon is not going to be super high for me. Not sure what you see in Terry McLaurin, but I'm assuming he's still the one there. Is that the one that you're referring to?
One league, I traded Brees Hall straight up for Terry McLaurin.
What? Just the position scarcity difference is not worth it.
Well, to be fair, Brees Hall was arguably my 4th running back in that league because I had Achan, the actual Achan, not ETN, the actual Achan. Um, Judkins and Amari and Hampton, as well as Brees Hall, and I kind of downgraded Brees Hall based on being on the Jets. McLaurin is higher positionally for me as a wide receiver than Brees Hall is as a running back, and they're both on 1-year deals. And McLaurin was 20 million cheaper, so I
Okay.
can pursue an entirely different player. So this is an RSO where it's contracts. So I will get basically 2 players out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the $20 million savings. I do have McLaurin outside of my top 24 of receivers, so we will not be discussing him at all when we
We will for
go to
me.
receiver.
We will for me. We'll discuss them when I pick them.
He's my wide receiver 28.
But I will say that $20 million savings, Jahmyr Gibbs is available in free agency, and I am replacing Brees Hall's roster spot with Jahmyr Gibbs. So
Okay. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. You've always had a sweet and soft spot for Terry McLaurin, who has finished not very well at wide receiver the last several seasons. So it's been
oh,
well removed.
2024, he did really good.
Define really, really, really good.
Let's see. I'll look through it and
Because I
pull it
have,
up.
he did get wide receiver 6, but the other 2 years he had wide receiver 54. Hold on one second here.
Who were his quarterbacks those years? Because the year he took off was Jaden Daniels' rookie year. And the quarterbacks before that were poop.
He's also very old.
He's 30.
That's very old.
Okay, you're gonna have Devonta Adams up there, and he's older. Mike Evans is older.
I hear what you're saying, but also Devonte Adams has finished 11, 14, and 8 the last 3 seasons. So he's never finished below 14, and I guarantee you got him lower than 14 going into this year, which
Oh,
history has shown that's not true.
who have his quarterbacks been, Jeff?
For the Raiders, who was it? Was it Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew that year?
Didn't he quit on his team halfway through the year and get benched and then traded?
Yep. And he
Yeah.
still finished in the top 14. That is how good of a talent that he is. But no, McLaurin finished. What did he finish here? He finished 28, 6, and 54 the last 3 seasons. We'll see. Last year he held out and did not pay off, but he is
Well, his
13
quarterback
years
got
old,
hurt.
as you
Jaden
said.
Daniels, I think, didn't play that many games this year.
So what's going to stop him from getting hurt this year? Remember,
Magic.
his arm looked like a stuffed animal arm that got bent sideways.
Well, we both have him at quarterback 4, so
Yep.
I would say we both think he's going to be much better this year.
For show. Joe Burrow comes in at my number 3, so I'm higher on Joe Burrow than you are. It's going to be my comeback player of the year, and we're going to rename it the Joe Burrow Award.
Joe Burrow award. The only reason he's not that high for me, again, he has no rushing upside, so he's buoyed by passing touchdowns.
For show. I don't think the defense is much better, and that's kind of what makes the passing happen. All right, who is your number 3?
My number 3 is Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I feel like I
Can't even
have to
think
put
who
him
your
here.
number 2 is. Oh, I can think who your number 2 is.
It's pretty obvious if you give it
Yeah,
2 seconds of thought.
I think it's dumb, but I hear what you're saying.
That's my top 3 are similar skill sets, we'll say. High rushing upside, decent passing upside. I think out of my top 3, I think Lamar Jackson has the worst receiving core, but still has old trusty Mark Andrews as well as Zay Flowers, who continually surprises people that he puts up the numbers that he does.
They got Sarrett too now, which I think you're a big fan of.
I like Sarrett. I don't know how soon it hits in the NFL. I don't know if it's rookie year, year 2, year 3, but I do like his potential and his upside. And I don't know how the new offensive coordinator is going to shake out, so that's going to be interesting. But I think Lamar is reasonably safe at 3. Won't say there's no risk because he does want a contract and he does get injured, but I mean, for most of the year, he'll probably be pretty solid.
Yep, I can absolutely see that, and he was coming up on my list shortly. Who is your number 2?
My number 2 is Drake May. Drake May, Drake May, Drake May, Drake May. I mean,
6 spots off.
he finished second in the MVP voting as a second-year player based off of a very, very low pass count. Yes, it was an easier schedule, but his wide receiver corps were poop. His wide receiver corps is pretty loaded, especially now with having reasonably bona fide wide receiver 1 now with A.J. Brown. Again, that depends on whether Eagles' A.J. Brown is bad or underutilized. If he's still good and they actually bomb the ball to him, I think Drake May is going to put up better numbers than he put up last year. May not be as good yards per attempt, but I think his touchdown numbers will go up. I think his yardage will go up. So these are all very good fantasy wise. I think he is the closest to the number 1 guy that you can possibly get. And I'll let you break down your number 2 and then the number 1 guy that everyone probably has at number 1.
Yeah, my number 2 is going to be Lamar Jackson. I just think that his rushing upside and his passing upside far surpass Drake May. I will argue until I am blue in the face that Drake May is not a top 5 quarterback fantasy just yet in the NFL. 8.93 is absolutely insane. Like, it is impossible to repeat. So his efficiency is going to go down. He had 31 touchdowns and 8 interceptions last year. Can't really go much more up from a passing touchdown perspective. 40 is probably the tippy top of an NFL quarterback these days. So unless you think it's got a historic year coming, that would have had to have happened with the 8.93 against the historically low strength of schedule. But you would admit 8.93 is absolutely ridiculous as far as quarterbacks go. He was the 4th highest in the league last year. That includes Malik Willis with a 12.0. Taysom Hill with a 9.5 yards per attempt, and Cam Akers with 32 yards per attempt. So that's the class that he's in right now. It's physically impossible to maintain that.
Well, he only had 4 rushing touchdowns, and Josh Allen had 14. So, I mean, he could
What
get
stopped
closer
him?
to that. Trevor Lawrence and Jackson Dart both had 9. Jalen Hurts had 8. Daniel Jones, who only played 13 games, had 5.
Mhm.
So, Bo Nix and Patrick Mahomes, both who also got hurt, had 5. JJ McCarthy, who only played 10 games, had 4. He tied with Drake May. So I think Drake May is due for positive touchdown regression, even if his yards per attempt drops. And even if he has a lot more passing attempts, I think his passing yards and passing touchdowns will remain relatively close to what it is. He might get a couple more interceptions, but I think, like I said, his rushing stats I think will go up as well.
Yeah, I got him up to 506 attempts because Josh McDaniels does not like to put the ball in any quarterback's hands. Even Brady, they ran the ball more than they probably should have with a quarterback like Tom Brady. He does not like to rush the quarterback for touchdowns, so the offensive scheme's not going to change. But I will concede though that I didn't give Drake May a 4th rushing touchdown this year. I only gave him 3, so that might be a slight oversight. But they do have Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson, 2 great backs that are just chilling back there. So it is much harder for him to run given the 2 backs, but we will see. I got him going 4,170 yards passing, so in second 4,000 yard passing season, 28 passing touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That's where I got him at this year. So how many people repeat with back-to-back 30-plus touchdown seasons? Not very many.
Well, he finished as number 2 last year. I think it's reasonable he'll finish as number 2 again. However, Matt Stafford finished it.
Did they finish identical year to year? Because that's where you got them.
What do you mean?
1 and 2.
Well, I mean, the number 1 guy finishes in the top 2 every year.
Yeah, he is the steady Eddie that you're putting someone else in the class of.
But I will say Matt Stafford was number 3 last year, and neither one of us has him in our top 15.
Nope. And if we look at what we went into last year, I think Lamar Jackson would have been our number 2 quarterback, and he finished outside the top 20 quarterbacks. So, and Joe Burrow probably would have been a top 5 for us, finishing outside of the top 20 as well, I believe.
Surprisingly, not Lamar Jackson, but Patrick Mahomes would have been the number 2 if he played all 17 games.
Understandable, but he was rushing a ton, and I don't anticipate him rushing a ton, at least to start the year.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Based off of last year, he would have finished number 2 if he played out the whole season.
For sure. We'll see if Drake May can start adding some rushing touchdowns, though, because as you just said, I mean, that's probably the thing that raises his tides up more than anything right now. His passing stats were already off the charts with limited throws.
All right. Should we say what our number 1s are now?
1, 2, 3. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
I was going to say something stupid, but couldn't think of anyone fast enough.
Brendan Sorsby.
Sam Darnold.
I think Sam Darnold's due for regression this year, don't you? With his OC leaving?
I think this guy is bulletproof now. Played for 3 different coordinators in 3 years, and he's actually performed in all 3 spots.
Bulletproof. Per game basis, he was quarterback 27.
Darnold?
Yeah.
That's fine. He's Super Bowl champion, Sam Darnold, now.
Yeah, handing the ball off like a champion.
Yep. You can't take that away from him.
All of his passing stats to 1 wide receiver.
No, not in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, he passed all to Cooper Kupp because John was hurt in that game, if you remember correctly.
So I'm saying he locks onto 1 guy.
Yeah. He revived from the dead Cooper Kupp, full of CPR and silly string, and tied them all back together.
The interesting one is Aaron Rodgers is right there with him at 28, and I wonder if that changes with more wide receivers there.
Right. But what you're saying, though, is Darnold can't really regress much. from 27, can he go to 32? Maybe.
I think the only thing that can regress is his completion percentage, really. His
But he's still going to
actual
talk.
fan,
He's not going to forget
his
how to
fantasy
throw to him.
points. Yeah, his fantasy points can't really regress.
Right. He's not going to forget how to throw to JSN, even with a different scheme.
Yeah.
That trust is already there now.
He needs to develop his other wide receivers and his tight ends.
Yeah, I don't know who it is, though, because I don't believe in Cooper Cup like that anymore. Torrey Horton, unfortunately, broke his shin or whatever he did last year, and I don't know how much that sets him back. I'm not a Shaheed guy. You already know that.
They paid him like a top wide receiver.
Yep.
Like not
Because
like a top 5, but like they paid him like a wide receiver 1. Like a low end wide receiver 1.
I thought he was making less than both Watson and Reed.
I think he's still making 20 million a year.
He's 27. You're telling me at 27 he's going to have this crazy breakout year?
I don't know because I don't think Sam Darnold passes to anyone outside the number 1 option.
That's a true quarterback, though, isn't it?
No. True quarterbacks spread it around. Drake May notoriously spreads the ball to everybody. Wants
Okay,
everyone to
and
feel involved.
how fun is that for fantasy?
It's not. It's fun for Drake May owners.
So he signed a 3-year deal worth 51 million, average salary 17 million a season. So a Gabe Davis type deal from a few years ago.
We're getting more than Reed, right? Because Reed's getting 15 million per year.
Ballpark, yeah, but
But I assume Seattle's more expensive than Wisconsin.
that's fair. His guaranteed at signing was only 23 million, so they really only guaranteed 1 year plus 6 million after this. So they could really cut him after year 1 and only have 6 million in dead cap. So we'll see if they do that. But I will say that Shaheed single-handedly beat the 49ers on the first play of the playoff game when he returned one to the house. So I don't think the 49ers even scored 7 points in that game. So Shaheed earned a lot of his money off of kick returns.
Yeah. I do think the idea is for Horton to take over
I would
the
love
return
that.
stuff, but we'll see.
I would
Is
love
there
that.
any honorable mentions you want to bring up for quarterbacks or
I mean,
good or
Jared
bad?
Goff. Jared Goff missed my top 15 by 1 spot. Jordan Love missed it by 2. Tyler Shuck by 3. Patrick Mahomes by 4, and Matt Stafford by 5. So that would have been my next quarterbacks on the list. Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Aaron Rodgers, Cam Ward don't even make the list.
So my 16 is Dak, 17 Stafford, 18 Love, 19 Mayfield, 20 Goff, 21 Malik Willis, 22 CJ Stroud, 23 Cam Ward, 24 Bryce Young.
I knew you would be much lower on Cam Ward, which is going to be very interesting where you have Carnell Tate now, because unless he's going to lock on and have a Sam Darnold type JSN season, Carnell Tate is going to be overdrafted in year 1.
I think they could have a light version of that connection.
But before we go into it next week, because we're going to do wide receivers next, Carnell Tate is my wide receiver 50, so we won't even be talking about it next week.
What's the count? Is it 24 for wide receivers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's my 27, so he misses the list.
Yep. 50 for me.
That's a mistake, Jeff.
It could be.
I think I'm still higher than consensus on him, but he doesn't make the 24 for me.
Yeah, I have, as far as Tennessee pass catchers go, I have Tate at 50, Wandell Robinson at 54, Ridley at 86, Isle Manor at 89, DK at 118, and KJ Osborne at 160. So there's too many pass catchers for a second year receiver or quarterback to lock in. And they
I
paid
think
Robinson.
I think Tate's gonna surprise you. I don't think the other guys are very good or standing out, and I think Ridley might get cut at some point.
Yeah. If that happens, obviously that shakes up the projections and the ranks, because that is the whole crux of fitting this target pie together. But Robinson, they paid him 17.5 million over 4 years, and they guaranteed the first 2 for Wandell Robinson. So they did give him a pretty paycheck or what you call is back end wide receiver one money with Shaheed. So,
Well, I thought Shaheed was getting 20 something million,
yeah.
and he's not.
He might though. He might get 23 million for 1 year if they cut him after what. So I mean, in technicality, yes, but in intent, no. But
Yeah, I think
Robinson had
I was
38
conflating
guaranteed.
the I think I was conflating the guaranteed money with getting that per year.
Understood. Yeah, 38 million guaranteed at signing for Wandale Robinson, so he'll be around for at least 2 years, and then we'll see.
Right. Well,
Dable really
I
likes him
think.
though.
Well, I think Dable really likes Carnell Tate too.
Hey, Tate's only making like 10 million a year, and Robinson's making 17 million a year. So how much
They
do you really
spent
like
the
him?
they spent the fourth overall pick on Tate. I think they really like him.
I'm just messing with you. I know the rookie contracts and deals and everything like that.
I think the Robinson contract was a mistake, but it's just me. All right. Anyway, I think that does it for this episode of the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast. Thank you all for downloading and listening to this episode, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please leave us a comment and share the show. Every little bit helps.
You can find us on all podcasting apps by searching N2 Fantasy and with our handle at N2E Fantasy on all social media platforms. Please join our community and give us a follow. Until next time, take care of yourselves and remember, it's truly never too early for fantasy football. Thank you again.
Bye, everybody.